Hi, I'm Dawn, and this is where Shabby meets Bling. Today I'm going to take an ordinary store-bought wreath and enhance it. It's beautiful as it is, but it's very plain, and I don't really do plain, so today we're gonna spruce it up a bit. No pun intended. I'm gonna start with a bow, and the best way to make any wreath look better is by making a bow. And I'm going to start with a bow that I've shown you how to make before. It's a video, I'll put the link down below. It's bow 1, and it's a ribbon candy bow. And what I'm going to do here is make a much larger version of that, and I'm going to show you how I wire it together and how I create tails for it. So you need a decent piece of wire. I'm saying at least 2 feet long. If you have extra, you can just spool it behind your bow, or you can trim it. I mean, that's up to you. I always, whatever wire I use, I tend to keep it because I don't want to waste it. So the way we're starting this is you have your ribbon and you're going to create a loop. I'm going to keep my wire handy. Then we're going to turn around and turn it over on itself. And you can see how large this is going to be. And then I'm going to come back the other way, just a little bit shorter than this side. And I need to make sure that the other side matches it. So, and if you ever want to know, kind of just bend it over and it'll show you that you're about the same length. I'm going to create a third loop, which is once again just a little bit shorter. You want them proportioned so that you want them, you know, about the same distance shorter from the loop in front of it. So about there and there. And there's my last loop. And that looks pretty good. Go a little shorter on this side. Now I am going to take it and turn it over on itself like so. And this is where I cut and wire. So I will take my scissors and I will give it a decent shortcut. I don't want it to pull through my wire when I wire it, so it's got to have a decent amount in there. So there's your bow. Now I'm going to take my wire and go right through the middle, like so. And this is floral wire. And there's different gauges and different colors, but this is just your average gauge green floral wire. And you take it behind and you're just gonna twist it. And you're gonna give it quite a few twists so it stays in place. And there you have your bow. Now, I am going to add tails to this, and I'm going to add streamers at some point, but the bow itself is going to go in next. But I need to add a couple of tails. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a decent amount of ribbon, and I feel I like that amount. And I'm going to create what's called a bird beak on the end of my ribbon. And the easiest way to do that is you just fold it over like so, and you come in at an angle and you cut. Bird beak. Now you want the other side to match, so fold it over like so, and you put this one in the middle of this guy and you line them up. And if you want to be real slick about it, you do them both at the same time and you give it a cut. And you have matching bird beaks. So I'm going to take this, find the center, and I'm going to wire it also to the back of my bow. And you're just going to give it a couple of little turns. As you can see, I've added the bow, and I've simply wired it in place instead of wiring and hot gluing, because I will probably change the decor on this wreath at some point in time. Now we are going to add some beautiful greenery to it. I have 5 stems. I try to always work in uneven numbers. That way, if you notice, uneven numbers of loops in the bow as well. And it adds more visual impact. And what I'm gonna do is just divide out my 5 and add them in, and I'm just gonna stick them in. Since this is gonna be an indoor wreath, I'm not gonna wire them and I'm not gonna hot glue them. So I'm gonna simply stick them in place the same direction that the fronds are going here. You've got your pine needles going this way, so my greenery will go this way. So you just take them and you place them in nice and tight. You can wind your other greenery around them, but this is going to be extraordinarily full when we're done. There's number 1. Now that my bow's in place and my greenery picks are in place, I'm going to enhance it even further with some pine cones. There are some pine cones in this wreath, but I feel there needs to be a few more. So that's our next mission. Once again, just sticking them in. And I'll maybe have to turn the wire a little bit to get them to stay. They're a little heavy, but that's no problem. And I'm just finding places where it looks like it's kind of empty and sticking them in. Give them a nice little home in there. And we'll add a few more. So here we have my enhanced wreath. You can see that I've added another bow at the bottom. Also a ribbon candy bow, and I added a little tassel to it as well. And it's a smaller bow. And I've added some streamers out of my larger bow at the top. And you can always really spruce it up if you want to light it up. I wanted it to look more earthy and natural. I do have a swag above it that is lit. And this is just meant to be a nice backdrop. So there we have it. An enhanced wreath. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Share it with your family and friends. For this time, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.